What if I told you the world's biggest economies in 2025 aren't just the usual suspects, and that one rising giant is now neck and neck with Japan? From tech-driven superpowers to resource-rich nations punching above their weight, today we're diving into the top 10 largest economies in the world by nominal GDP, and some of the numbers might surprise you. We'll travel from bustling cities in Asia to financial hubs in Europe and powerhouse exporters in the Americas. Along the way, you'll find out which industries are keeping these economies on top, which ones are closing the gap fast, and what this all means for the future of global wealth and influence. So buckle up for a global tour packed with stats, stories, and economic surprises. This is Fact Voyage, and these are the 10 biggest national economies shaping the world in 2025. At number 10 is Brazil, South America's largest economy, with roughly 2.13 trillion GDP. Brazil's wealth comes largely from its natural resources and agriculture. It's a leading exporter of soybeans, coffee, beef, and sugar, and has huge iron ore and oil reserves. The commodity boom fuels much of Brazil's income. Industry and manufacturing, cars, airplanes, petrochemicals, make up about 22% of GDP, while services, banking, retail, tourism, etc., are just under 60%. In short, Brazil's economy is powered by farms and mines, from the Amazon's timber and minerals to the farms of São Paulo, with industry and a growing middle-class services sector rounding out the mix. Canada occupies rank number 9 with about 2.23 trillion GDP. Unlike Brazil, Canada's economy is service-led, about 70% of GDP. Finance, real estate, and retail trade are large employers. But Canada also thrives on natural resources. It is a net exporter of energy and minerals, home to the world's fourth largest oil reserves and vast hydrocarbon and mining sectors. Alberta's oil sands, British Columbia's gas, and Ontario's manufacturing plants, autos, and aerospace all boost output. About 30% of GDP comes from mining, energy, and manufacturing. So Canada's economy blends big service industries with a strong resource and manufacturing base. Italy comes in at number 8, with an economy of about $2.42 trillion. Like many wealthy nations, Italy's economy is service-dominated, approximately 74%, with tourism, finance, and family-owned businesses, big in cities like Milan and Rome. But Italy's industrial sector, owned 24%, is famous for high-end manufacturing. The country leads in luxury sports cars, Ferrari, Lamborghini, machinery, fashion, and furniture design. Notably, Italy is the world's largest wine producer and a top maker of high-end appliances and textiles. These specialized exports, plus food and automotive products, keep Italy competitive. In sum, Italy is a mix of advanced manufacturing, especially niche, luxury goods, and growing services. Ranked number 7 is France, with about 3.21 trillion GDP. France's economy is diversified but service-heavy, approximately 79%. Tourism is a major pillar. France is the world's most visited country, and financial services, education, and public administration are large too. In industry, at 20%, France shines in aerospace, Airbus jets, automotive, Renault, Peugeot, luxury goods, and food production. It is the European Union's leading agricultural power, with vast farms producing wheat, wine, and dairy. In short, France blends a modern service sector with strength in high-value industry and agri-food, reflecting its role as both a tourism and manufacturing powerhouse. The United Kingdom stands at number 6 with roughly 3.84 trillion GDP. The UK is overwhelmingly service-oriented. About 80% of economic output comes from services. London's financial sector, banking, insurance, capital markets, is globally influential, alongside robust tech, media, and creative industries. Manufacturing is much smaller, approximately 10% today, but includes aerospace, pharmaceuticals, and autos such as Jaguar Land Rover, mini makers. The UK also benefits from North Sea oil and gas exports. Overall, modern Britain runs on finance, tech, and commerce, with a lean manufacturing base and energy exports rounding out its GDP. Japan is number 5 with about 4.19 trillion GDP. It is an advanced services-dominated economy, approximately 70% services, but Japan's legacy of manufacturing still looms large. Its automobile industry is the world's second largest. Toyota, headquartered in Japan, is the biggest car maker globally. Electronics, Sony, Panasonic, robotics, and high-tech machinery are also major exports. Japan invests heavily in R&D, approximately 3.7% of GDP. In short, Japan's economy is driven by innovation and industry. Think cutting-edge tech and giant car companies, with a strong services sector, finance, retail, and tourism, supporting it. India takes the number 4 spot, virtually tied with Japan around $4.19 trillion. India's growth is service-led, approximately 55% of GDP, thanks to booming IT, software, and business process industries, Bengaluru's tech parks, call centers, etc. Its 1.4+ billion people drive huge demand in retail, telecom, and a fast-growing digital economy. Industry approximately 28% includes autos, steel, and the world's 4th largest chemical and pharmaceutical sectors. Agriculture still accounts for approximately 18% of output, making India a top global producer of rice, wheat, and cotton. In short, India's story is the rise of services, tech, and telecom, alongside continued strength in manufacturing and farm exports. Germany ranks number 3, with about 4.74 trillion GDP. It is the powerhouse of Europe, export-driven and industrial. Roughly 70% of GDP comes from services, but its industrial might, 29% of GDP, is what sets it apart. Germany is among the world's leading exporters. Cars, Volkswagen, BMW, Mercedes, machinery, chemicals, and electronics top the list. In fact, vehicles and machinery alone make up a huge share of its exports. German industry's focus on engineering excellence and quality gives it resilience. Finance and tech hubs, Frankfurt, Munich, complement this, but Germany's identity is its world-class manufacturing base. China sits at number 2 with roughly 19.23 trillion GDP. Its economy is shifting from heavy industry to services, which now make up over 56% of output, but manufacturing remains enormous, about 36% of GDP. China is the world's factory. It churns out more steel, electronics, appliances, and industrial goods than anyone, and led the world in car production, over 30 million vehicles in 2024. Rapidly growing tech sectors, e-commerce giants, smartphones, AI, now account for about 10% of GDP, the digital economy. In short, China's gargantuan output is powered by huge manufacturing and export industries, massive infrastructure investment, and a swelling consumer market. At number 1 is the United States, with about 30.5 trillion GDP. The U.S. economy is famously diverse and driven by innovation. It is dominated by services, think Silicon Valley tech, Wall Street finance, healthcare, and entertainment, but also has a vast industrial and energy base. For example, the tech sector alone contributed nearly $2 trillion in 2024, around 9% of GDP. Finance, insurance, and real estate together account for a substantial slice of GDP, and consumer spending, Amazon, big box retail, is enormous. America is also the world's largest oil and gas producer and has major manufacturing, aircraft, autos, machinery. In short, U.S. companies, 40 in Fortune 500, and robust markets keep it atop the rankings. These 10 nations, from the U.S. and China to India, Germany, and others, together illustrate the global economic landscape of 2025. Each has its own growth engine. The U.S. leads in tech and finance, China in manufacturing and exports, India in IT services, and so on. Natural resources power economies like Brazil and Canada, while Europe's biggest, Germany, UK, France, Italy, rely on industry and high-value services. Together, they account for a large majority of world GDP. As IMF projections show, the top 10 remain clearly led by America and China. But emerging markets like India are rising fast. Watching how these economic giants evolve, from new technologies to shifting trade patterns, will shape the world in years ahead. If you enjoyed this global breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a stop on our journey through the world of facts.